As we pointed out, a rematch of the Richmond Major Final, a series that Golden Hour took in just 2 games, all the way in 3 games, as it turns out, as Ben, you have so kindly corrected me. Yes, I do remember that game being very back and forth at the very least, right? We had serving runs from both Joe Bondy and Will Piccone, and honestly, I mean, we saw a lot of breaks really across the board as well. I'm expecting to see that same kind of high-octane gameplay here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, what's been interesting to see, not only that matchup in Richmond when these 2 teams faced off, but also in a lot of the games today, is 1 or 2 players on the net is getting hot, and there have been a lot of runaway scores. Not too many games staying close, going into extras. Of course, we saw Golden Hour get pushed by Blake Bozak and Seb Kim in their semifinals game 2. But otherwise, it's a lot of just big serving runs as Ali gets some pressure applied. And a sick touch.
Lefty from Joe. That'll get the job done, but what a defensive touch from Ali Jenke.
It's a pretty in-system play for a Golden Hour. Olivia's maybe a little bit off net with her hit. But as we said, this matchup and really all of the matchups we've seen today have gone back and forth depending on who's got the hot hand.
Well received there by Will. He'll pull that one away, straight past the leaping Joe Bondy. Looking back at these Richmond scores, I said it was back and forth, one-sided each game. I mean, talk about a score line that echoes that. 21-10 from Golden Hour, 21-14 from Subtle, followed by 21-13 from Golden Hour. Insanely dominant scores on both sides, and it's exactly what Will Piccone intends to do for Golden Hour in Salt Lake City as well. You see him get a nice serving break there, and they will take the lead.
Now gets to face down an old-time teammate, of course, 2 Virginia natives in Will Piccone and Joe Bondy. They've got a lot of history, chemistry, both on the same team and playing against each other. But this time, Piccone's going to get the best of Bondy, and he's got 2 in a row.
Yeah, Will is just doing what he does best, and that is flexing a serving arsenal of both lefty and righty power. Incredibly consistent with both hands. One of his biggest strengths and something that separates him from a lot of the competition out there. He is just overwhelmingly good with both hands all the time. So many serving threats and so much to keep track of at any given time.
Another break there, this time an offensive error. Ali Jenke just hits rim on the hit called actively by our referees.
Referees will signal high as that ball just above the shoulder of Joe as he tried to make a stab at it. He'll have to stab at that one, but it looked good enough. That's another break for Golden Hour. Will is on a run. Try to go again. His first serves over the last few possessions have actually been missing, but the second serves are just as lethal.
Like you said, he's got a really good arsenal, and he's got a high percentage arsenal.
There it is, that lefty cut. Well received, though, and well handled by TRP Subtle. Ali with a nice put away to close it out and finally get the ball back. It's Joe's turn to see what he can do.
Oh, quick decision there from Piccone.
Interesting, we heard the ref wave the flag, right? But that isn't stopping the play, that's just signaling a violation. And we did not see anyone on Golden Hour say no. They continued to play through, and it ended up freezing Subtle in their tracks.
Playing with those flags is certainly, it's taken an adjustment for these players. Of course, we're seeing 4 that find themselves on featured courts time and again.
Calmly received and put away by Joe Bondy as he will casually work his way up to the net and around that no-hit zone. As always, a member of TRP Spotless. Really just always looks casual when he's playing out there, but working so hard. Just he may not look it. I mean, there's a great serve, this time from Ali Jenke. She's going to put on some pressure for the Subtle side of things.
Just clawing back to avenge the lead deficit they gave up as that one goes high. But you're absolutely right. these players can play so cleanly, look so casual because they've got immaculate control over the ball, over their game, even after a long day, a long weekend really, of round net.
Good portion of the crowd still hanging around here after the long weekend, as you mentioned. Had a good turnout today in the mixed advanced division. 26 teams entering, and a lot of those participants still in the crowd to support the finals and the third place game that's happening over to the other side of us.
Inches away from a no-touch ace. Not going to be 4 in a row this time for Piccone, but just a double fault. Gives Settle a little bit of breathing room here.
Joe looking for a good ball here. Knows what he can do when he's got the right equipment.
That signal just high above Piccone's shoulder.
Second serve now. Wide step this time, and he goes reverse. But Will not only receives that well, but puts it away, too. Tough receive, that one, especially when you know how far you have to drive to your right side to pick up Joe's cut serve. He went reverse, and still, Will was able to reach out his left hand and grab it.
Yeah, like you said, not only does Joe maybe look a little casual, but Will made that look super easy. All things considered, there's a lot of variables in play going into the serve receive between what you're working with and what you expect from the server, as well as how you just position yourself and execute with your footwork. Olivia Jenke has been quiet so far this match.
She's got time, only a few points in. She'll just get that one on, looking to play some defense, but both her and Will could not quite track that ball down. It was just a bit out of their reach. Allie splitting them well. Great serve. The jam well received by Olivia. That ball is up, and it will sneak under the arm of Olivia Jenke as well. That's a break for Subtle.
Any lefty you hit, I can hit better, Allie says to her twin sister.
That was something we talked about a lot last night during the women's final, Ben, was the lefty hitting power of Olivia Jenke and how she had so many opportunities to bring it out, and every time she did, she delivered, a perfect strike. Will's going to have to do it this time. It'll be the righty to get it done as he sends that ball away.
Yeah, excellent in-system play. That is what you want to be doing every single time you are on the receive for round net. Just a clean first touch, plenty of options by the setter, and the hitter just needs to pick something and execute.
Low set, a quick one that allowed Allie to just find the space because Will hadn't worked his way over to that spot yet. So smart choice from Joe to make sure that ball was quickly in the hands of his partner. Notable absence today from the top 4 is Fractal, one of the, I think, most feared co-ed teams coming into 2023. This was their first appearance together. Clark Marshall and Laura Kunzelman. With the return of assistive touch, well, it means that Clark Marshall is back to play some mixed advanced, and he and Laura are incredibly threatening individually. As a team today, they were still working out a few kinks and were not able to push through the quarterfinals.
Right, thwarted in 2 games by a very hot Golden Hour. We see them on the final set, of course. But yeah, it was all Olivia and Will in that matchup. And for Clark and Laura, it's their debut, so it's something to be said about how strong they are as players. But yet, when you join a new team, when you come together to form a partnership, there's maybe some kinks to work out with the chemistry to realize their full potential.
Lefty from Will is just too good. That's another one for him.
Not even with that much pace, just really well placed on the net. As we note, he's got so much range left to right that it doesn't take much sometimes.
Another lefty attempt. Allie thought about that one for a second, but the ball was a little too low for her to set. Second serve won't work either. Also absent, we mentioned Fractal. Both Pinto and Gabraham Lincoln, Nebraska are two of the top teams that have made a very strong run in Richmond. Pinto ending up with the 3rd place, I believe. Not in the semifinals or the finals today. Pinto ran into Gabraham Lincoln, Nebraska. That's Gabe Funaki and Sarah Allen in the round of 16, an unfortunate early matchup that ended up knocking Pinto out of the competition.
Yeah, tough draw, but a treat for spectators to get that kind of matchup that early in the day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they had quite a group following that game. Really just a star-studded field today. Of course, everyone's out for the major.
On the other side, in our 3rd place game, we have mixed signals. Etienne Cote and Katie Pearson taking on, I think, one of the coolest team names we had in the entry today. Killer Kim and Bozak Attack. Seb Kim and Blake Bozak, they've come out and they have played extremely well today.
I'm all smiles. I did not read the team name on Flango, admittedly. That is awesome. And they also, all 4 of the teams that made the semifinals have been playing excellently, of course. Something has to give in the semis, but the 3rd place match definitely has a lot of fireworks going on too.
Yeah, the hunt for the podium, the hunt for that glassware. I mean, here, you're going to get glassware no matter what. Gold, silver. You get to be on the podium, that bronze medal, right? It often has that extra bit of focus from those players. But here we are in our gold medal match, 15-12, Will to serve. A nice one, jams up Joe. The set, the recovery attempted there from Ali Janke, but it's not good enough. The off-net hit from Joe won't work either.
We see Golden Hour trying to put up similar numbers they did when we last watched this matchup in Game 1 of Richmond. But that one's going to be high. A reprieve for Ali Janke on the receive.
We'll step out left and we'll go quick this time, changing up the pace a little bit there. Always love to see not only the serving skill, but just the smart decision-making from Will Piccone. He knows that if he spends time faking, right, the receiver can get complacent. He comes out next time and easily could just rip a cut in your face without hesitation. And all of a sudden, you're off your rhythm. You didn't know it was coming, and you simply weren't ready.
Yeah, the gamesmanship of that serve and serve receiver matchup, that cat and mouse game that can be played, is really fun to watch. I think there's a lot of room for people to continue pushing that. And Piccone is on the cutting edge with some of his fakes. Looks like a timeout by TRP Subtle. Giovanni just, you know, I love to see him practicing even on a tournament day, Jonah.
I mean, he's always got to get out there and get the reps.
Jokes aside, he's just trying to make sure he's feeling dialed in at this critical moment in Game 1. This is one of the last few times he'll have a chance to stage a comeback from the serving line.
Yeah, he knows he can do it. We all know he can do it. We've seen it before. It's why Richmond was so one-sided in each game, so very much momentum-based, because once one of these servers gets rolling, I mean, it just keeps coming. Serve after serve, and could easily get this game turned around in an instant. And yeah, you've got a 60-second timeout. There's no rule saying you can't just stand on the net and practice some serves and warm it up.
Something we've seen more and more from players in the clutch moments, as opposed to just talking something over or grabbing water. Doesn't pay off yet.
Yeah, immediately doing the same serve he did in the warm-ups, the step out right to the cut. He'll do the same thing this time, but it is just too high. And a shrug of his shoulders, Joe Bondi knows that he could have done a bit more there to support his team. Saw the quick serve there from Olivia that time with the lefty. It'll be the same thing, but the right hand on this one. Low push. Really good shot there from Joe.
Yeah, nearly blocked back on by Olivia, but it bounces twice. Bondi stays in the net to make sure no funny business happens with a wild block.
So still up by 3, continuing to nurse this lead. It'll be Will and Olivia to hold here to push themselves even further closer to game point.
Great serve by Ali.
And a nice little recovery set, though, from Olivia to negate that powerful serve and maybe a bit of a low receive there on the contact from Will Piccone. Really, he handled that just fine. So impressive when you see that power coming off the serving line from any of these players. It'll be his turn now. He'll swing hard with the left, but he'll miss that one.
Because he's got so many serves, it's always hard to know what he's going for if it doesn't connect.
There's the lefty, but a quick step from Ali Janke gets it done. She'll find the gap here. A recovery attempted with the foot up from Will. What an effort.
Wow. Fun fact, Piccone has done this before.
You see it here on the replay. Goes all the way down towards that Hampton Farm sign, kicks it up in the air, and actually gave Olivia a shot at it.
Yeah, just flashing those former soccer credentials he's got. Of course, ended up picking Roundnet over soccer to pursue all of these championships he's gone after, especially in the mixed division.
I think it was a good choice.
Good or not, he's definitely been successful.
Okay. Reverse there from Joe Bondi. Finally finds something now to get Subtle back into this game. He's going to look to do a little bit more. Fakes both ways and ends up with the lefty. Joe has that very characteristic stance. Like many of these servers, he's got his own unique style. Just bouncing in rhythm almost when preparing for that serve. This time he goes quick and he rips the reverse right away, getting another one back-to-back for Subtle.
As you mentioned, it's just changing up that tempo between the first and second serve.
Goes quick again this time, attempts the cut, but finds the front rim. Second serve looked to be that reverse attempt, much like those last two aces, but he will not find it for the third time in a row. 19-17, Olivia with the ball. Very low and fast. Joe's going to send this one high and into the crowd. He's going to wave that one goodbye, but it did look like Will had a play on it and is likely going to ask for the redo call. We'll take a look here on the replay.
Yeah, Joe just obliterates this ball, but it did look like Will slowed down quite a bit, and given we just saw him make a bicycle kick in the same area of the court, I could understand his call if he wants to get this would be an unavoidable hinder. So
I fully have hinder there. I think there's no doubt in my mind that he had a play on that. I mean, he was there quick, he was there early, and he was, I think, a step away when it came down to it.
Yeah. As far as whether it's a hinder or not, Will did a great job. We see him take off, and we see him demonstrate he's going to make the play, and we see him slow down. And the players also can see the feedback here on the screen, so they're also debating it. But it's gonna be a hold for TRP Subtle, so no hinder awarded. Of course, these calls are always hard.
Yep, and I don't believe the referees, and they were doing their best to do this, not using the replay to aid them. I don't believe, we don't have
that's not a
video
standard
replay.
Practice.
That's not standard practice. I saw them discussing what they saw on the play, and to be fair, we did not have the perfect angle in that replay to see how close the ball was to Will when it dropped.
Yeah, that's Joe's fault. He did it off the screen. He did it very far.
Well, the ace to end it. Will Piccone after the, well, maybe he would have had it, maybe he wouldn't have. I think he didn't care because he knew that when he got the ball back in his hands, he would put the game away just like that. It's 21-17, game one, all wrapped up in this mixed advanced final. We'll be right back with game two.
Yes, and Piccone serving as hot as ever, so it's a tall task.
That's a great set, but what a touch behind her back from Olivia. That is insanity once again. I mean, these players just showing us not only is their serving strong, not only is their offensive hitting strong, but their defense is strong as well. Check it out here. The touch up, the soft touch, and that ball's gone.
Yeah, that defense is so cohesive. Honestly, I don't know who got the first touch, but it's just that collective team effort to get the ball back on the net for Golden Hour.
Nice one there from Allie. Olivia diving for it, not quite going to get it done. And Allie is going to look to keep Subtle in this game and maybe start off this second game with a bang. She's actually tied Joe for the amount of aces so far through this series. Joe has 2, now Allie has 2.
Love the stat keeping, yeah. Just right off the fingertips of Piccone. Much better control here by Olivia.
Yeah, choosing to play that high ball, threading that needle through the gap as she put that ball away as well. So she'll get the ball back in her hands for her troubles. They'll think about this, but Joe will decide otherwise.
The first touch coming in with a little too much pace.
Little too high on the second one as well. So trading blows early in this first game. But now it is Joe Bondi's turn. The difference maker in this second game if Subtle want to do it. The reverse again. He is 3 for 3. He lands that reverse, and it's just going to sneak right by him. Will knows how to receive it. He's done it well, at least so far this match, but you got to do it perfect if you want to receive Joe Bondi when he's hitting that kind of serve.
Yeah, now matching Allie ace for ace so far in this game at least. That's the difference so far.
Now they're up by 2 because of it. Trying to make it 3, not quite, as he just catches the side rim. As you're seeing now, after a long day and a long weekend, a full day of play, even a longer day of play yesterday for all these players. Trying to stay loose, trying to stay limber. You can see there from Will Piccone. First serve just too high, a quick second serve. But a very smart shot from Allie Janke straight to into the gap. Really leaving that defense with no chance. Olivia recognizing that she probably could have been in that position. Definitely told Will that was her bad. Not much you're going to be able to do there either way.
We see the ups and downs here of playing a serve-heavy meta. You'll have some great plays, some great serves, but sometimes which means the ball is not going to be in play at all. Just get a little stoppage from all those balls getting hit away. Going to regroup and gather some more balls to the net. Jonah, you've watched a lot around this weekend. What have been some of your favorite matches you've seen?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. I mean, there's been some good stuff today. There was some exciting stuff yesterday. Assistive touch bad combo was an electric series. That one went all 3 games, and bad combo just took it in the end. I believe extras game 3. We also saw a deep extras game between, I believe that was TRP Moneyline and TRP Spotless. 29-27 game 2. That Spotless ended up winning. Another exciting one to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't ask me back because I don't want to choose, but there's been a lot of really fun matchups to cover, and just sit back and enjoy.
Joe has been quiet this series, and there's no question that is not going to help Suttle's chances.
Yeah, definitely someone he's going to need more than just a couple aces in a game to keep up with Golden Hour. The pressure from the man back on the ball in Piccone, as well as his counterpart, Olivia Janke. We've seen a lot of double faults here early in game 2, but we know the pressure is going to come raining down. And you don't want to be on the wrong side of that waiting game.
Wow, what a receive there. A little too high, and they'll choose to play through it. That may not have been the right call, though, because a quick defensive touch and conversion for Golden Hour gets them another break and ties us up in this second game. Eliminating the early success that Subtle had, and now forcing Subtle into an uncomfortable spot knowing that Subtle has to take this game too. They would really like to have the lead here.
Yeah, watching the quarters and semis for Golden Hour, you don't want to get in a close game with them. It's really that simple.
Definitely going to play that one.
Oh,
and that was the right call, but unfortunately, Joe, a no-hit zone violation called on him. Might have that replay angle from above to show you here in a second, but don't think so. Our referees clearly had a good perspective on it, called it confidently, and obviously that's unfortunate for Subtle, but it does mean that Will get the ball back in his hands once again, and he is going to nearly secure an ace.
Capitalizing on that opportunity where one error for Subtle could become 2-3 breaks, but luckily they're off the hook and the ball is back in Ali's hands. Limiting the damage there. Still even early in game 2.
What a serve, but just not good enough. Second one will not cut it either. Ben, so often we talk about round net and the explosive power of these players, how it can be all about heating up in a specific moment, who can really hit those highlight level plays. But in a game like this, on a Sunday evening after a full day of play today and a full day of play yesterday, it's not just about your ability to heat up in the moment, it's about endurance. I mean, it's about your ability to keep playing after, 15, 18 hours of play over the last 2 days.
And not just heating up from the serving line either, right? Like, the stamina doesn't just go into that forearm that you're trying to rip cut serve and reverse cut serve and maybe sprinkle that offhand to save your primary arm. But it's the footwork. It's avoiding the no-hit zone. It's everything. Oh,
another reverse recovery now from Will is on the money, to be honest. Olivia, though, could not get it back on, and Joe is finding success with that reverse so far this match. I think all Golden Hour is going to have to do right now is just maybe cheat the cut a little less until Joe hits it.
Especially if it's rolling up like that. But indeed, Joe's doing well to play off of his range. The same way that Will really goes left-right, Joe has got so much range with just his righty reverse and his righty cut.
Well, there it is, a good reverse. Will is there, though, but what a body up from Ali. She'll rip it right, though, into Olivia, and now Olivia's going to put that one right back on. What a rally, and a great one to continue this second game.
I mean, the number of rallies we've seen this match, game 1, now game 2, where one of the twins makes a great play, and then I'm just loving the parallel where the other sister is making the exact same play and then just putting it away. I just love the parallels here. This time Olivia getting the better, but I believe we're about even on, I'll say, mirrored defensive touches. Oh, no.
Ooh, Will sneaks one by. Joe got his hand on it, but did not get the touch he wanted.
I promise he wants that one back. If you're getting your hand on a Will Piccone serve, you have to get it up.
I'm not sure what the call was there, potentially rim, potentially a foot fault violation. Yes, that's the signal, but it was played through and ended up working out just fine. Dangerous, though, because that cut was very scary to get back on the net.
Yeah, just excellent control there, and the shot selection by Ali to push it several feet away from Golden Hour's defense. Ooh, just high on Piccone, though.
Second serve, Ali will still continue to rip away. Will not find it, though. So 11-10, Golden Hour in the lead. What a serve there from Olivia, but a nice recovery set and flick to do it too from Joe Bondi. Clean signaled as Joe did avoid the no-hit zone successfully. And just a lovely play to keep Subtle in this game.
What a treat to see all these touches back again. Bondi still got a little bit of spring in that step to get across the no-hit zone. Had a really key moment, keeping this game even. And it's one they need.
Just a little too high. The cut from Joe. Head in his hands. He knows he's got to find it eventually. I mean, we saw so much success from him throughout the day today. But in this final, it's just not hitting at the moment. They're still going to hold. They're still going to get the ball back, and they are still dead even with their opponents of Golden Hour. But we are pushing late game 2 at this point. Working our way at 12-12. Time is running out.
And not only is time running out, but Golden Hour has that 1-point advantage where they're serving up 1 and TRP Settle is serving even. So they only need one more break really to knock on that doorstep of winning a championship.
Allie unsuccessful on her serves as well. Very similar reaction to what we've seen from Joe. Just a bit of that frustration coming out. Knows that they could be putting on some better serves, or at least putting on some serves at all, to apply some defensive pressure if possible. Nice receive there from Joe. Potentially on one there from Will, but not so much as that ball will ricochet off his knee and into the ground. What a cut. There it is finally by Joe, but this one is going to come back. Now they will put it away. Good serving pressure and a nice little defensive touch there in the end to clean it up. An insane recovery set, by the way. Let's just compliment Will Piccone on this for a moment. The diving recovery. Olivia gets it back on, but Subtle will close it out.
Yeah, great footwork by Allie Jakey there to find the space and get the push between the defenders. Can't say enough good things about that set by Piccone to not give up on the point.
There's another one from Joe. That is the Joe Bondi that we know.
Like you said, we can heat up at any point, and doing it in the clutch that's what makes these players great. Joe Bondi needs to keep rolling here. No lead is safe from a strong Golden Hour team. And potentially a timeout being called.
Timeout taken by Golden Hour. I think that's a smart one. Joe's going to keep serving here in the interim, trying to stay warm. He just finally heated up, and Golden Hour want nothing to do with it.
Fortunately for them, if he stays hot at this net, they do have to return the net in 60 seconds, so there's no real getting away from him. Little update from our field reporter, Andrew Gassaway, is that Mixed Signals took down the podium spot. They got 3rd place, taking down
Killer Kim and Bozak Attack. Yeah, I'm checking it for you to confirm here. But
I've only heard it once before today.
Yes, of course. And yeah, Mixed Signals, that's a big win for them. They've been running up in the Challengers and having some good performance there, but did not have the performance they wanted at Richmond necessarily, but clearly a performance today. A podium at Salt Lake after Katie Pearson had a lights-out day yesterday, taking the 1st place prize in women's advance. So a big weekend for Katie Pearson. Etienne, of course, having a blast as well.
Double podium for Etienne, going bronze on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, very true.
Yeah, no easy feat there, getting the Pro Division bid, and like you said, getting some much-needed points for the mixed Pro Division later this year.
Both players coming in so hot this weekend and performing exceptionally well in, all of their divisions. I will say, Killer Kim and Bozak Attack, they will take home 1st place in my heart of best name coming into the day.
Yeah, I've got clean on that, Jonah, in the booth. That is an easy pick.
We did have some other serious contenders, though. We did have some other serious contenders.
No.
Maybe we'll get into that in a minute. Right now, we're going to watch Will serve here because at any moment, this guy's going to rip an ace. And if I'm talking about Fried Hale or Yorking the Glork, those 2 teams that entered this morning, that would be a bummer if Will got an ace while I was talking about that.
Yeah, I might have to give Killer Kim and Bozak Attack, give them game 1, but we might have to go game 3 on the best names of the day.
Mm-hmm. What about Po Boy and Girl? What about that team name? What do you think there?
That's okay. I wouldn't say I'm suited to be making these calls, though.
All right, we'll have to run that one. We'll have to run that one up the chain after this.
Olivia trying to bring things back to even.
It's a great serve. But it's not going to be enough. Step through, though, from Joe. Puts the defenders in an awkward spot, but that ball had been bodied up to the other side of the net where Will did have a realistic play on it. He went for the dive, but he was unable to track it down.
Such a strong defensive touch by Olivia there. Golden Hour continuing to get the looks they want and get into the right positions for those ups.
Well, Joe's found it so far this game, and he will find it again. A wide righty cut to extend the lead.
Get another look on how much spin is applied.
Good communication there from Golden Hour, but a big swing from Will is not going to get that ball back on the net. Once again, an impressive recovery set from Olivia Janke. This team is flexing their recovery setting prowess this game, to be sure, but even that is not going to be enough.
Oh,
Joe's going to do it again, and it is reversed this time. 20-15 now.
When it rains, it pours. And Joe Bonnie is trying to send us into game 3 with just one swing.
Will's going to receive it, but well enough, just barely well enough. Olivia, talk about setting.
These players can do it all, and now it's time for Will to just do one thing, and that's be clutch.
He's done this exact thing before in both the mixed and the men's discipline. Oh my goodness, Joe nearly had that one. The set from Allie was on the money, and Joe just swung a bit too hard and clipped the rim.
We are being spoiled by immaculate recovery sets in this match.
Well, let's see if Will can do it. He's looking to play spoiler himself right now. That ball's good enough, and Will take back-to-back defensive, breaks for Golden Hour. You talked about the clutch, man, and he is delivering exactly on that promise right now. 2 down, 2 to go. Fires away. Joe's going to let that one pass by him. He'll step out left again. And he goes for the lefty this time. Joe is all over it. He goes for the flick, but he made contact with the ball, and then the ball hit him. An offensive error. Joe trying to do a little bit too much. You can see it here on the replay. Calm receive, but went for the angle that he simply did not have.
Yeah, just scared of hitting into that really strong Golden Hour defense. So some great work built up over the course of the series to intimidate Joe to make that decision.
Well, avoided 3 match points. Can they avoid a 4th? Golden Hour looking to push themselves into extras, and they will do it with ease. Will, oh my Lord. An insane comeback here against all odds. Golden Hour do not want to go to that 3rd game. Will liked that serve, but it hit the rim. And the second one will go a little bit too high. So subtle escape the trenches of having to receive Will and having to just get a hold against this Golden Hour team. And now they have another chance to get this game point away. Just game point here, not match point. No call, no defensive move because Golden Hour froze them in their tracks. Great choice.
Yeah, it's always tricky to know if the ball is being played through, especially with the flags going up. But Olivia's not going to give her sister another chance to swing. Will's got to be careful about touching that one if Allie wants to play it. Ooh. Another narrow miss. He's strung a few together so far, and now he's got another match point, this time serving.
But he won't do it on the serve, and he won't do it on the defense either. That ball just sneaks over his outstretched arm. Even Allie could not run that ball that far down. That was just hit too far away. But 22-22 after that insane comeback from Will. Golden Hour still in this game, very much so. They are down the mini break, but that is about it.
He got 4 breaks his last time up here. He really just needs 2 to seal the championship.
Oh, he got Joe to bite, and then he gets through with the left hand. Joe was there, and he did make contact, but again, it just snuck right through him.
As I said, that's some amount of execution with the hand-eye.
For Will to close out the game. And it will happen in 2, just like that. Ali can't get it back on, and instead of going the distance like we did in Richmond, the victor is the same, but it's a little bit more convincing. Golden Hour push their way through and take home the gold here in Salt Lake City.